This is The After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Do you have your drink? I have my drink. I have my Coachella Valley vanilla iced tea. So good. You have your couch, you have your seat. So good. I just want to apologize to teacher Lori because I saw a comment after the Mark Thompson show ended that she had a specific question for David Katz. And unfortunately, because I'm trying to do the show instead of usually I'd be able to look at the chat and bring the comment up for Mark while he's doing the interview. But because I was doing the interview, I didn't see it, and I'm sorry that your question didn't get asked. Usually there's enough of us that if we see a question that seems pertinent and relevant and we want to put it to David Katz, we're able to do it. But today, I hope you'll give me a break because I was trying to kind of juggle everything by myself and I didn't quite see it in time. So I do apologize for that. You really aren't screaming into a void. Usually when we see the questions that, again, that we can ask him or that seem relevant to the conversation, we'll definitely bring up those comments and everything else. It's summertime, which means on the party, we welcome the kids into the room because, you know, this is the way it is. I understand that someone's knocking. You can come in. Tried to interrupt right during the middle of the David Katz interview as well. And again, it's summer and kids are just going to do it. I, again, have people that are hurt here at the house. I have a son that had 6 stitches in his knee because he fell and ripped his knee open, and a daughter who fell off a horse. Last night, she said the most comfortable way for her to sleep is in a chair leaning over her desk like this. So I open up her door and she's at her desk all night long sitting up. Crazy. I mentioned that because I saw that Mo Direct threw down a couple of bucks, $1 for the stitches and $1 for the sore tailbone. Wishing well. Thank you, Mo Direct. I'll make sure the kids know that you did that today. I appreciate that. Wes coming in with a $5 super sticker. You guys don't understand how much it means that you support the show in this way, because that is the reason that we are allowed to continue doing this thing instead of having to, we being me, having to drive into San Francisco to get a job that, you know, would bring me maybe more of a paycheck, but would also mean that I don't get to hang out with you guys here on YouTube and wouldn't be here for the kids knocking on the door, that type of thing. So thank you for that. I appreciate the contributions very, very much. Okay. Let's talk about, I'm overworked and underpaid. Well, I mean, I made the choice to do this, so I guess there is that, but I appreciate it. Mo, thank you for that. I did get that. That's really, really cool. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's go into these stories because it is Trivia Thursday and I have a lot of things to ask you. We're talk about cats. There's a cat section to today's trivia that I think you might really like. But first, let's talk about these smiling sharks. There's a place off the coast of Santa Cruz. They call it Shark Park because it's where the juvenile sharks just kind of all hang out. And this year, more than most years, Lori Dolly with $10. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Really nice of you to do it. And thank you for, I know it's so generous and you guys are so nice. So Lori, huge appreciation, really. So Shark Park. It is, apparently there are more sharks this year hanging out at Shark Park than they have seen in the past. So some folks went out with a boat and a GoPro cam and stuck the camera down into the water, and the pictures they got are hilarious. I mean, not so hilarious if this shark is coming at you, but pretty funny. So this marine wildlife photographer caught these images of these young great white sharks. And because of the way they're swimming and holding their mouths and developing, and it looks like they've got great big grins on their faces. There were about 20 juvenile sharks swimming near New Brighton State Beach in Soquel Cove at Shark Park. They say we've seen all the aerial views of the dark shadows close to shore, right? Usually right behind where the line of surfers is. And that was by drone. But the wildlife photographer said the underwater photographs show how cute great white sharks are up close. It looks like they're smiling. He said, I wanted to show what they look like underwater. So you can see here, they put the GoPro down and they do look like they're smiling, these sharks. The Shark Park photo lab shows all of these creatures smiling. The curious juvenile sharks swam right toward that GoPro to investigate what it was exactly. Some of these are up to 16 feet long. Others are a little shorter. They're still growing. But they all congregate here because of the water temperature. No incidents so far. The juveniles in years past have behaved aggressively toward people, I guess, but they're really not bothering anybody. So there's one of the pictures. There's another picture. Big grin, smile for the GoPro. Here's another one. Yeah, I guess they're happy just swimming around down there. Speaking of surfing, though, there is a picture that is so interesting. This also off the coast of Santa Cruz, where this animal surfaces, and right away they think, is it a shark? I mean, it's big, it's got a dorsal fin, it looks like it could be a shark. So surfers are kind of, a little hesitant at first. It turns out it's a sunfish. I've seen the sunfish at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. They can be massive, massive fish. So a photographer on a nearby ocean bluff takes this picture. They see the dorsal fin sticking out of the water, and it kind of looks shark-like. But then he takes another shot, and he sees the shape of the head and the weird eyeball on this fish, and that can only be a sunfish. It is the largest bony fish. The largest sunfish on record weighed 6,000 pounds and was more than 10 feet long. This one doesn't look quite that big. According to this article on KSBW, they look a little drunk when they're swimming because they have this fin that's disproportionately long and protrudes from both the top and bottom of the fish, and it bends kind of from one side to the other, so they're all wobbly looking as they're swimming along. They don't know what brought this sunfish to Cowell Beach. It's not clear because they don't usually hang out at the surface like this or at the beach, close to the shoreline. But it does look like a really large sunfish that surfaced here in Santa Cruz, which is in this area, part of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So kind of a cool thing for this surfer to see the sunfish like that. All right, let us move toward this story about hot dog vendors in San Francisco. It doesn't look like they're having an easy time of it. And this is a job where, you're on your feet all day. You've got to cook all day as well, even in the heat. You've got to go get your supplies. You got to roll your cart out there. It's a pretty demanding, I would say, a demanding way to make a living. Well, the city of San Francisco doesn't seem to be doing these hot dog vendors any favors. They had them outside of Oracle Park, you can see here. And they put up these no unauthorized vending signs right outside Oracle Park. Maybe they want people to go inside the park and buy the hot dogs instead. Well, the Giants fans that are headed to Oracle, they're not having it. They really, really like the hot dogs outside of the park. They had a Giants task force that involved several San Francisco government agencies trying to stop the sale of what they were calling unsafe food. And the city inspectors went out to Oracle for the Monday Giants-Cubs game. And they put up these signs around the ballpark saying, no unauthorized vending outside of Oracle Park. So, I don't know. The people were not having it. There were a dozen vendors that went right back outside the gate. They were lined up as fans were leaving the stadium, and they did a great business. So I get that you don't want unsafe food, but then maybe help them out, regulate them a little more, but don't take away their livelihood like that. You know? We have seen on this show the world's tallest bike. How about the world's longest bike? I don't know what would make you do such a thing unless you were in search of the Guinness World Record for having the longest bike, and that is indeed the goal achieved. These Netherlanders have built a bicycle measuring 180 feet 11 inches long. They had a team of engineers trying to build this thing. It's the world's longest bicycle. This man, Ivan, says he's been dreaming of building the world's longest bike ever since he was a young boy. He says he's been thinking about this idea for years. Once he said, I came across a Guinness World Records book in which I came across this record. He has experience building carnival floats, and he recruited some buddies to come on in and help him build this bike. He said, we have the technical knowledge and we want to apply this knowledge to the maximum. Then the pandemic came. They had to pause this effort for a couple of years. And now they came back at it, and they finally broke their record by taking this 180-foot, 11-inch long bicycle for a 328-foot long ride. One member was operating the handlebars up front. There's another guy way far in the back, 180 feet down, who's pedaling in the far back. And they broke the record also for the world's longest tandem bicycle by adding some extra pedals and some more team members to the mix. They say we left nothing to chance in terms of safety. The bicyclists are not outside of the structure. They are actually inside the structure. And now this bicycle is going to a local history museum where it will be on display, the world's longest bicycle. Kind of interesting. The way they built it, it looks rather tank-like. I mean, this is not a light, airy bicycle. This is a heavy-duty piece of gear. To each their own. I mean, you know. Heather says, fight the illegal wieners. SF Tesla says, what's next? A bike that's a limo? Kind of seems like it. I don't know. Let's go to this next story. We've got bikes to now cars. And I always thought this was interesting how the temperature gauge in my backyard can say one thing and the temperature gauge in my car can say another. And you'll be driving along and listening to the, local radio station, and they'll say, hey, it's, 91 degrees outside. And then you look at the temperature gauge in your car, and the temperature gauge says, no, it's 97 outside. So how accurate is the temperature gauge in your car? And KTLA had this story on about whether you could really trust your car's outside temperature gauge and why maybe it's so different. There's a dashboard temperature and then there's the temperature that checks the engine coolant, and then there's the one that checks the temperature outside the vehicle. So if the outside temperature is really high, like 130 degrees, but the daytime high is only 95, they say really it doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean your car is broken. If you're looking for an accurate reading of temperature outside, the Weather Channel says don't pay attention to your car's thermometer. Because cars don't use thermometers with liquid mercury. They have thermistors that measure temperature change through electrical currents. And the thermistors are not installed on top of the car, but behind the grill where things are hotter anyways. So when the reading soars to what looks like ridiculously high numbers, the experts say it's because the thermistor is measuring radiated heat from the road surface, not just the outside temperature. The black asphalt roasting in the hot sun is usually why, especially when a car is traveling at a slower rate of speed or is stuck in traffic. But that's why. So don't trust your car's temperature as much as you trust other thermometers that will tell you the more accurate picture. I have 2 lottos of the day today. I know. Hey, I'm into it. What can I say? This guy is rewarded for, I guess you could say, a quick decision. He's from Michigan. He said this last minute decision at the checkout counter led to him winning $446,571. He's a 43-year-old guy, told the Michigan Lottery that he went out to the 7-Eleven in Clinton Township to buy his usual lottery tickets. He said, I usually play Mega Millions and Powerball, but when I was at the store, I made a last-minute decision to purchase this Fantasy 5 ticket. A few days later, I'm back at the same store, and people are talking about how a big Fantasy 5 winner was sold there. So I scanned my ticket, and he said, that's when I knew I was the big winner chicken dinner. The excitement, he said, in his house was through the roof. He said his prize money will go toward making investments and saving for his kids' college fund. And then you've got this guy, and he is being rewarded for his patience. He has been playing the lottery at the same store for 20 years. He's from Massachusetts. His name is William. He said he's been buying lottery tickets from the Roslingdale Food Mart for 20 years. And that finally his persistence paid off when he bought a $5 million 100 times cash word ticket for $20 and scratched off a $1 million prize. So he didn't win $5 million. He won $1 million. That's pretty good. He's taken the lump sum, which gives him $650,000 before taxes. The store got a $10,000 bonus for selling that ticket. No word on what William plans to do with that money, but pretty nice. After 20 years, he was due, I would say. He was definitely due. Let's take a look at this story. This is a science kind of story, a space kind of story about planets that are aligning. There you go. There's a cool picture. This is about 3 planets, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. And they're going to align in the weekend sky, the last weekend of June, featuring what is being called by some the best astronomy event of the month, as these 3 planets fall in line with the crescent moon. So Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn are going to appear in a row about an hour before daybreak, early Saturday morning. And they say no telescope is needed to see these planets, but you will have to wake up really early to check it out. June has some of the earliest sunrises of the entire year. So the crescent moon is set to line up with this planetary trio glowing between Mars and Saturn. And I have another picture that I'll show you kind of what you can expect to see if you decide to crawl out of bed and peer up to the sky and take a look. So this is kind of what you're looking for. It looks like a lineup of 4. There you go. So you've got Jupiter, Mars, you've got the crescent moon, and then you've got Saturn, is what it's supposed to look like. That's pretty cool. So look toward the east before sunrise on June 29th, early Saturday morning, and this is what we can expect to see. Not too shabby. Then Sunday morning, you get another chance to see it, but it's supposed to be more cloudy, I guess, in some areas, so might not be as good a viewing. The International Space Station is making bright passes over the United States before sunrise, Saturday and Sunday, so you might be able to see that too. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, something to look forward to in the world. How about a meat alternative? Why not? Because meat alternatives might be healthier for your heart than eating actual meat. Even though these plant-based meat alternatives are very, very processed, they still could be healthier for your heart than eating a traditional, meat sandwich or meat burger. This is a review published in the Canadian Journal of Cardiology. And taking into consideration risk factors for heart disease, including total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, body weight, everybody improved when meats were replaced with plant-based substitutes across the board. In one clinical trial that was reviewed, people consuming plant-based alternatives saw a 13% reduction in total cholesterol, 9% reduction in LDL, 53% reduction in triglycerides, 11% rise in good HDL cholesterol. So this professor of medicine at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, his name is Dr. Ehud Ur, says plant-based meat is a healthy alternative clearly associated with reduced cardiovascular risk factors. So there's a wide variety, though, of nutritional value of meat substitutes. The amount of sodium that's in some of these things, the amount of saturated fat that's in some of these things. They looked in this study that Dr. Ur did at 2 burger brands. One is an older one, one's a newer one that tasted a little bit more like beef. The older brand had a 6% of the recommended daily allowance for saturated fat. It was 30% in the newer burger. The older brand had 0 cholesterol, 27% in the newer brand. So they say most meat substitutes are really highly processed, and they're often lower in fiber and loaded with salt and sugar and additives. But Dr. Ur says not all ultra-processed foods are bad for the heart. He said processing isn't necessarily a bad thing, in the sense that they have a lot of saturated fat or certain carbohydrates associated with adverse outcomes. But he said this randomized trial looking at heart attack and stroke in people who eat these meat substitutes compared to regular meat eaters is what they're going to look at next. So there you go. I guess it's time for us to eat the plant-based burgers, right? Here we go. Speaking of travel, we have, not that we were speaking of travel, but we have this surge pricing that's getting ready to affect airlines. Yeah. Here we go again. This, they call it dynamic pricing, is making airline travel a little bit more costly. There's a venture capital firm with San Francisco and Silicon Valley offices, and they're looking at this pricing format for airlines, and they're using AI and investing money into this company that uses AI to do this with airfare prices. So we've seen it on the roadways, we've seen it at fast food restaurants, and now apparently it's coming to airline pricing, this dynamic pricing method. Real-time dynamic pricing services. They just raised $90 million to do this and to look into this, about how to create new AI-powered offer engines to bundle and price multiple carrier services together, because more and more airlines are going to adopt this dynamic pricing. There are already 258 carriers using some form of dynamic pricing, and we're just going to see this go, grow more and more. So, all right, are you guys ready for it? Here it comes. It is Trivia Thursday. Are you ready to play? I'm ready to play. I have my trivia book, Will Travel, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to the chat. Here we go. Okay. my Cheetos are good for me. Just know it. Yeah. I don't think so. All right, here we have it. I'm using Julia's report card as a placeholder in this book. The first one I have for you is about jingles, like, commercial jingles and such. The spokeswoman for this margarine warned, "It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. It's not nice to fool Mother Nature." What jingle are we talking about with that one? It's not nice to fool Mother Nature. What product was that? Yes, it was chiffon. Sandy jumping on it first. Well done. Which laundry detergent's big pitch was its ability to get rid of ring around the collar? Which laundry detergent's big claim to fame was getting rid of ring around the collar? Sandy. Whisk. That is correct. It is indeed Whisk. What gasoline brand boasted, "You can trust your car to the man who wears the star"? You can trust your car to the man who wears the star. Yeah, Sandy is on fire today. That's true. It is Texaco. Linda gets it. Linda and SJ Lola and Heather and yeah, a lot of you guys got it. It is Texaco. Trust your car to the man who wears the car. Sandy says, I know my commercials. Way to go. Next one. What is the last word in the classic jingle? You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with what? You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with fill in the blank. I've never used it. It is true. You'll wonder where the yellow went when you brush your teeth with Pepsodent. Linda gets it. Uncle Jim on it. SJ Lola. Lee coming in. Heather. Well done. Teacher Lori's on it. SF Tesla. You guys. Well done. Rubber cement. It rhymed, but no. Okay, next one. What beer was supposedly better than the others because it came from the land of sky blue waters? I can even sing it in my head. From the land of sky blue waters. Sorry for singing. What beer was better because it comes from the land of sky blue waters? Sandy's got it. It's Hams. And Jim and SJ. Lee. Yeah, Hams. All right, next one. This pet food jingle begins. My dog's faster than your dog. My dog's bigger than yours. What pet food? My dog's faster than your dog. My dog's bigger than yours is the way the jingle begins. You co-own a brewery? Well, that's cool. Right on. Yes, Kennel Ration is the right answer. Trying to see who got it first. John, Kennel Ration, SJ, Kennel Ration, Uncle Jim, and Lee, and VA, and Jim, and Lee. Nice. Okay, next one. What beer, ooh, another beer for you. What beer was once said to be the one beer to have when you're having more than one? The one beer to have when you're having more than one. Which beer is that? Never had this beer. The one beer to have when you're having more than one. Anybody? Yep, Uncle Jim. It is Schaefer. I never even heard of that one. But yeah, you got it right. Which coffee jingle promotes it as that heavenly coffee? And it claims better coffee a millionaire's money can't buy. I think heavenly coffee is Coachella Valley, but that's not the right answer. Again, what coffee jingle promotes it as that heavenly coffee and claims better coffee in a millionaire's money can't buy? Better coffee a millionaire's money can't buy. Yeah, it's chock full of nuts. And Jim had it too. There, Uncle Jim. Chock full of nuts. You mean chock full of twigs and sticks and grossness? Okay. Heather says, yeah. Chock full of nuts too. You guys are amazing. Know all these things. Next one. A little dabble do ya served as which product's catchphrase for decades? A little dabble do ya. What's that from? We don't see much of this anymore. A little dabble do ya. Yep, it's Brill cream. Brill cream. A little dabble do ya. Ew. Good job. You guys got it. All right. A kid exclaims, "Look, Ma, no cavities," in this toothpaste long-running commercial. Which one says, "Look, Ma, no cavities"? BA says, I spent a lot of time watching TV with the grandparents in the 80s. Linda's got it. It's Crest. Crest says SJ. Crest says Teacher Lori. and John and viewfinders. Good job. It is Crest. Yes. Next one. With which gasoline brand told consumers to put a tiger in your tank? Which gasoline brand told consumers put a tiger in your tank? No thanks on the tiger in my tank. This brand is now called something else. It was Esso, yes, Uncle Jim, and it is now ExxonMobil. So if you had said Esso or Exxon, you got it right, because it was Esso, later changed the name to Exxon. So yes. Lastly, for jingles, it takes a lickin' and it keeps on tickin' is the boast of which product? Takes a lickin' and it keeps on tickin'. Timex. Linda's got it. Timex. Wes has it. Timex. Timex. That's correct. You are correct, sir. All right. Next one. About cats. Who was the early comic strip cat whose love, Ignatz the mouse, always pelted him with bricks? Who was the early comic strip cat whose love, Ignatz the mouse, always pelted him with bricks? We know the answer. You guys got it fast. Crazy Cats. It was Crazy Cats. Yeah. I never watched that one. What is the name of the slacker cat who hates nearly everything, including spiders, diets, Mondays, and Februaries? This one should be fairly easy. Yeah. It's Garfield. I don't know if you meant Garfield in response to the other question or this question, but I'll take it anyway. Garfield, Garfield, Garfield. Everybody knows Garfield. What he hates, right? This musical, Cats, is based on the book of Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by what expatriate American poet? The musical Cats is based on the book Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by what expatriate American poet? I like this poet a lot. Yes, it is indeed T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot. You guys, good job. T.S. Eliot, indeed. Nice. Next. What is the name of the cat who was famous not only for his vanishing act, but also for his grin? The name of the cat famous for his vanishing act and also his grin. Cheshire. I'll accept it. Linda, Cheshire cat. Wes has it as well as Sandy, Uncle Jim. You guys, yes, it is the Cheshire cat. Well done. I like you. Okay. A meowing kitten, a parody of the MGM lion, was the symbol of whose TV production company during the 70s and 80s? A meowing kitten, a parody of the MGM lion, was the symbol of whose TV production company during the 70s and the 80s? It was, see if you guys got it. Yeah, it was Mary Tyler Moore. We'll take core, because I know what you meant. It was Mary Tyler Moore, MTM Productions. Murphy got it too. Teacher Lori's on it. Lee, you guys knew it. Viewfinders, it's pretty funny. Mary Tyler Moore, MTM. Look at you go. Well done. Next one. Who is the spokescat for 9 Lives Pet Food? Who is the spokescat for 9 Lives Pet Food? Do you know? Sit, Ubu, sit. Is it Morris? Yes, it is. It's Morris. Sandy had it. Wes had it. I think Wes got that one right off the bat. Sandy was quick. William was quick. Uncle Jim and John and B.A. Ware. Trevor. Nice, you guys. Who is the... I just said that. Oops. Next one. What cat is known for sputtering sufferin' succotash when he was thwarted by his pint-sized nemesis, a yellow bird? What cat is known for sputtering sufferin' succotash? You guys get this one? You'll get this one pretty easily, I think. Linda's got it. Sylvester is the right answer. Ooh, Heather had it too. Sylvester. I'll go back up and see. Linda had it. Sylvester. Yeah, Sylvester the cat. Good job. Next kitty cat question is, the cat in the hat's standard uniform was a red and white hat, a red bow tie, and what other item of clothing? In your mind's eye, see the cat in a hat. His standard uniform was the red and white hat and a red bow tie, and what other item of clothing? What other item of clothing? Someone got it. I see it. White gloves is the answer. Uncle Jim. Yep, it was gloves, Heather. White gloves indeed. Murphy got it. White gloves. It was white gloves. Yep. Next one. Which cartoonist whose styled cats decorate everything from clocks to coffee mugs got his big break in Playboy magazine in the 1960s? Which cartoonist whose stylized cats decorate everything from clocks to coffee mugs got his big break in Playboy magazine in the 1960s? I would not have known this one, but you guys do. It is Kilbran, although it's listed here as B. Kliban, Kliban, but I will accept it. It's close enough. Yes, Uncle Jim, Kliban is correct. Kliban. Chris got it. Trevor got it. Teacher Lori got it. Yeah, it's okay. We don't count spelling errors here, unless we're doing a spelling-related thing. That's fine. Who is the much despised feline companion of the Hogwarts school caretaker Argus Filch in the Harry Potter series? Who is the much despised feline companion of the Hogwarts school caretaker Argus Filch in the Harry Potter franchise? I got a lot of Harry Potter fans here. No clue, says Trevor. We don't know that one. It is. Mama says it's Mrs. Norris, and Mama is correct. B.A. Ware gets it as well. Yep. Murphy gets it as well. Nice. Mrs. Norris is correct. Okay. Before he was adopted by the Clintons, the first cat started out life as a stray. What was his name? What was the name of the Clintons' cat who started out life as a stray? His name was not Hairball. No. His name was indeed Socks. John's got it. Uncle Jim's got it. Heather's on it. B.A. Ware's got it. Murphy's got it. Mama's got it. Good job, you guys. His name was Socks. Lastly, a Texas feline named Copycat, born in 2001, was famous for being the first what? A Texas feline named Copycat, very clever, born in 2001, was famous for being the first what? No, not while you're driving. But yes, John, clone. Clone cat, Uncle Jim got it. Murphy got it. Copycat. Yes. Teacher Lori and B.A. Ware and John Slade and JT and Teacher Lori. Good job. Well done. I think I have time for a couple more questions, some animal-related questions. How about this one? What's the only marsupial native to North America? What is the only marsupial native to North America? See them all over the place around the North Bay. It is... We'll see if you guys... Yep, it's the possum. It's the opossum. Mm-hmm. You guys got it. That's correct. You are correct. San Francisco Chronicle's executive editor and Sharon Stone's ex made headlines when he was bitten by what animal at a zoo? I remember this story. What's interesting about this question is they don't even say his name. He's known for being the executive editor of the San Francisco Chronicle and Sharon Stone's ex. I guess that's what you're relegated to when you marry a celebrity. He was munched on by a Komodo dragon. That is exactly right. Remember, I think he was at the Los Angeles Zoo, and they were inside the enclosure getting this private tour, and he got injured. He got munched on by this Komodo dragon. That's exactly right. And you thought this marine mammal was a nice guy. If we told you that his family includes weasels and polecats, would you know who we're talking about? This marine mammal whose family includes weasels and polecats. This is what type of animal? Kind of weasel-like marine. Yep, it's an otter. It's an otter. I think B.A. Ware might have gotten that first. It's an otter. Yep. Okay. I'll keep going for just a little bit. What wild spotted cat did Salvador Dali keep as an exotic pet? Wild spotted cat-like creature that Salvador Dali kept as an exotic pet. It's okay. We're all right with misspellings. It was not a muskrat. It was indeed an ocelot. William Martinez throwing it down. Teacher Lori gets it as well. It was an ocelot. In Edgar Allan Poe's 1841 short story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, the murderer turns out to be what kind of animal? In Edgar Allan Poe's 1841 short story, The Murders in the Rue Morgue, the murderer turns out to be what type of animal? You want a lynx? Lori says her mom wanted one. Yeah. It was not Trump. We can blame him for a lot of things, but we can't blame him for this one. You're in the same family, Uncle Jim. You're in the same family, Walter. I'll give you the answer to this one. It is an orangutan, then called the orang-orang. Orang-outang. Orang-outang. That's how they spelled it back then. All right. What cute, tree-hugging Australian eats nothing but eucalyptus leaves and has fingerprints that resemble human ones? Yeah. This one should be easy for you guys. Eats nothing but eucalyptus leaves? Yeah, koala. It's a koala. Little koala. I saw a koala, more than one, at the San Diego Zoo when I was little. They're really cute. It is a koala. Okay. What mostly nocturnal birds of prey can turn their heads 135 degrees in either direction? What mostly nocturnal birds of prey can turn their heads 135 degrees in either direction? Yep, you got it. It's an owl. An owl. You guys all got that one. Good job. Look at you go. Woohoo! Next one. Arms are the proper name for what we incorrectly call tentacles for what creature? Arms. I guess we're not supposed to call them tentacles. Thought they were tentacles. I guess they're arms. Not a starfish. Yes, an octopus. It is indeed an octopus. I guess we're supposed to call them arms? Who knew? You probably knew. I did not know. Name this largest living species of bird, some of which have weighed in at nearly 350 pounds for a bird. 350-pound bird. It's the largest species of bird. It is an... Oh, I just gave you a clue by the way I said an. Ostrich. That's right. Ostrich. It's an ostrich. Yep. He's a big boy. It's the ostrich. Thank you, guys. Look at you. The ostrich. Okay, next one. The call of what Australian bird is regularly described as sounding like human laughter? Can you imagine having that outside your window in the morning? The call of what Australian bird is regularly described as sounding like human laughter? Yes, JT, it's the kookaburra. That's exactly right. Next one is... Snakes are the ironic food of choice for this largest venomous land snake. Oops, excuse me. Runaway clicking. Snakes are the ironic food of choice for this largest venomous land snake. I'm going to give it to you. It's the king cobra. King cobra is correct. Yes. Teacher Lori says the kookaburra sits in the yum-yum tree. Yeah, it is the king cobra. Okay, and lastly, sometimes called the longhorn grasshoppers due to their long, slender shape, these get their name from the way their song sounds. Sometimes called the longhorn grasshopper due to their long, slender shape, they get their name from the way their song sounds. Interesting. The gumdrop tree, she says. Yeah. It's not a cicada. Now I know how to say that word right. Isn't that nice? Heather's got it right. Heather's on it. It's the katydid. Yeah, you got it. And so comes to a close this week's rendition of Trivia Thursday. You guys were awesome. I hope you liked the topics. I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoy playing with you every week, and I look forward to it next week as well. Not sure whether we're going to have Mark Thompson back tomorrow or not. I would expect so, because he tends to come even when he shouldn't as far as working sick. So we'll see how he is. But if he's not back, I'll let you guys know how he's doing. Really good Nikki Maduro show. We're kind of deciding whether we're going to go live tomorrow or whether we're going to tape after the debate tonight. But Nikki's plan, Nikki and my plan is to watch the debate, and then we might be so excited tonight that we tape, or we might go live tomorrow morning. Either way, it's going to be a great reaction about the debate and what we saw. Then the Mark Thompson show. We will have a Friday Fabulous Florida. We will have Culture Blaster Michael Snyder. I have a note from Michael Schur saying that he might be at a Trump rally. So I don't know if he's going to be with us. Regardless, we'll talk about the debate and other stories as well. So it's going to be a good Friday show on the Mark Thompson show. And then we'll meet you right back here for the After Party Live. I hope you guys have a really great day. Huge thank you to the folks that have come through. Mo Direct with $2 for the kids. I really appreciate it. Wes coming in with $5. Appreciate that very much. Lori Dolly slapping down a $10 super sticker. And then we have Doug with $5 as well. So thank you for helping me crowdfund this show, you guys. It's so appreciated. And thank you for spending your afternoon hanging out with me as well. All right, I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube. Until then, go out and make it a great day. But for now,
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Thanks, Lori. I only found out about it an hour before the show. So, woohoo! Made it happen, right?